Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Newsround for Anfield Index. It is Tuesday, the 12th of August, only a few days until Liverpool kick off, Friday the 15th, isn't it? Under the lights at Anfield, 8 p.m. against Bournemouth. The Premier League campaign starts properly. The proper football, ladies and gents, not the Community Shield, which, of course, we've well all got past by now. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from, it's a glorious Edinburgh right now. Touch wood, fingers crossed it stays exactly that way as well. Fingers crossed it's nice wherever you are in the world at the same time. Got to get into it. There is a million and one things. There's a few bombers been dropped by a certain well-established member of the media, of course. We'll get into it all now. Incomings, outgoings, all sorts of stuff. But it's important to reference what's on the screen there. That graphic, magnificent, isn't he? There he is, Virgil van Dijk, the official. Something just gets me going about this, the excitement. Maybe it's because I'm going to be there on Friday night, but when that official Liverpool tweet goes out to confirm, and it's maybe just fitting that the big man is there because, let's be honest, he had a bit of a stinker at Wembley on Sunday for both goals, really, didn't he? Of course, it doesn't matter. It's still a glorified friendly in the context of things. But you know, as he spoke well after the game and about various things, the skipper will be doubly, trebly focused for this one. Excited for that. But even with me saying all that about the game on Friday, I bet that's not the thing you're most excited about. I bet it's this Ornstein bomber that dropped at around 7:45 this morning. Alexander Isak is adamant he will not play for Newcastle again. Even if the window closes without exit, the 25-year-old views his Newcastle career as over and has no wish to reintegrate. The club say he's not for sale, but are exploring the market amid Liverpool interest, and the striker wants Liverpool. People will have different thoughts on his behaviour, but let's be honest, as Liverpool fans, it's music to our ears, isn't it? As has been the numerous reports throughout the summer, Alexander Isak and his agent have made it clear that they've had those conversations with Newcastle last season, that the one just gone was going to be his last. Despite all the talks of he's not for sale, this almost feels now like it's all a saga, isn't it? It's all drawn out. But this feels like a big line in the sand. This almost gives Newcastle the perfect excuse, doesn't it? In terms of, listen, Geordies, what do you want us to do? He's told us he's not prepared to play for us again, whatever happens, even if we say he's not for sale. So all the Geordies will now be able to say, do you know what? Club, PIF, whoever is actually running the show, Eddie Howe, over there, sell him. Get what you can. Get strikers in. Get Nicholas Jackson in, as that seems to be the reporting, doesn't it? Get Johan Visser done, although we're waiting for Brentford to get Otara from Bournemouth as well. All those things, just get them done. And probably I think you'll start to see a lot of the Geordie fans now, for the ones that haven't, because some have already, will be get him out, never want to play him again, which just plays nicely into our hands, doesn't it? Because of all the talk, and you may have clocked it yesterday, 150 million was in the hopper, wasn't it? Still all that. With Liverpool reports, Liverpool saying about 130 million they think gets it done. There's no way it's 150 million now. The price has come down. Whichever club you're looking at objectively, respect to journalists, everyone knows Ornstein standing saying the player's made it clear he's not going to play for the club again. Whoever it was, the price would have reduced. We've been here before as well, haven't we? With Coutinho, with Torres, all those types of things. So we know how the Geordies are feeling, and I get all that, but been breaking news, and it doesn't half favour us in this pursuit, eh? But also, it's just worth mentioning, because there is the transfer deal sheet, the article that comes out from David Ornstein this morning. This is the other bit, and we're going to talk about this player a little bit more, because this is almost signed off by, as it says, Ornstein James Horncastle, as I'm sure many of you know, a well-respected, European football journalist, and James Pearce. It says, Liverpool are interested in Parma centre-back Guehi and Leoni. They are trying to persuade the defender to move to Anfield this summer, but accept convincing him to leave Italy will be highly challenging. No clubs in Italy can afford him at this moment in time, with Milan going for Genoa's Coni de Vinter. As a result, a player we said Liverpool had talks with. The 18-year-old is highly rated, played 17 games for Parma in Serie A last season. Leoni has been capped 7 times at under 19 level by Italy. So double Ornstein bomber, I think you'd call it, wouldn't you? Horny, this is Pornstein stuff. You are getting excited. Do not lie for 1 single second. But you have to temper it a little bit, because there's things like, when will Alexander Isak actually be available to play, having had no pre-season? When will Newcastle sign some freaking strikers so he can actually go? All that goes into the mix. You then also start to think about, great, this Leoni sounds a talent. We would clearly like him. But the centre-half picture, I said this on another show, and I can't change it at all. Guehi and Leoni, if it's both, it's sensational, because you've got the one for the present who can come in straight away, and you've got the FSG-style future kid who can develop, they can look at that pathway they feel best. And then if Ibu was to leave, which none of us want, we all want to sign a new contract, but if Ibu was to leave, you're thinking, well, Leoni and Guehi through the door, we're prepared for that a bit. So there's that. If it's just Guehi, you're thinking, okay, for now, we're strong. We can reinforce on all fronts. It's the win now by, would have liked Leoni, but it's not happened. If it's just Leoni, there's big question marks there, because you're talking about a kid, as it said, played 17 games. I think if you look at his minutes, it's just under 1,200 last season, which is similar to the season before when he was at Sampdoria. So the sample size is tiny, really, in those terms. It's a big gamble in that regard. And if, touch wood, they've not, there was an injury to one of the others, is that kid ready to come in and step straight away into being a Liverpool first teamer? Because greatest respect to Parma in the world, but if you've got any doubt, look at where they finished in Serie A last season. Just have a look. Parma to Liverpool, that jump, insane. That's not to be sad at all, but I think it's good. If it's both, brilliant. If it's not, there'd just be a few question marks there, wouldn't it? And there's various other talk as you're scanning through, you can see about Liverpool in this article. Essentially, if you get a few minutes and you haven't already, well worth a read this way. And I won't put too much stock in this bit. This is the one I want to finish on, because this is a quote from the deal sheet, the Ornstein article as well. Senior Anfield figures dismissed reports that Liverpool were targeting PSG attacker Bradley Barcola. Liverpool believe bringing in a left-side attacker with his profile would block the pathway for talented teenager Rio Ungamoa. Now, that is essentially the line that James Pearce put out. And I have no doubt, just for clarity, the club briefed that as well. However, I don't think it's that straightforward, personally. Time will tell on this. I mean, Fabrizio Romano did write this for Give Me Sport yesterday himself, that it does seem Bradley Barcola is a potential alternative for Alexander Isak. That, as Julian Lorenz reported at ESPN, I think Liverpool made an approach last Wednesday where it was kind of battered away, no chance. And naturally, Bradley Barcola, it's important to mention, and his agent, Jorge Mendes, are trying to negotiate a new deal, contract renewal with PSG. I think there's a couple of lines that are key in this, and this is the first one. As long as the deal for Isak remains alive, as they wait for Newcastle's decision, the Reds wait and prepare their strategy, as the Swedish striker also insists on playing at Anfield this upcoming season. We know that. Great. And then there's a little bit more. And it's probably this line as well. The new deal proposal is ready, and this is Barcola, by the way, and PSG expect him to stay, unless the player makes a very different decision. But as of now, the focus of Liverpool is on Isak, and that remains very clear to all parties involved. As David Lynch phrased it yesterday, all the eggs seem to be in the Alexander Isak basket. That's where Liverpool sit at the moment. And obviously, with this sort of breaking news, the deal sheet, whatever you want to call it, of course they are. It's very believable that they've looked at Barcola as an alternative, but how real an alternative? I think we all know where the focus is for them. We'll see what develops this week. It's only Tuesday, plenty to see and rev it up. This is annoying, though. I will say this to you, Fabrizio Romano. I could play the clip around Leoni in different bits, and it would almost be free advertising for you. But if I do play it, it gets shut down, blocked, and all those things, copyright. And all I ever think is, well, it's free advertising for you, isn't it, surely? But hey, that can sound ranty, but it is what it is a little bit. So an attacker wants to leave and come to us. An attacker may or may not be an alternative. We'll have to see. This one's worth mentioning, though. The tune's a banger, but the player might not quite be in the same stead with Arne Slot. And yeah, this was coming out last night, 9:30 to be precise, through Gazzetta Italia. Look at this. In recent days, Federico Chiesa has had a direct conversation with Arne Slot, and his agent, Fali Ramandi, who I think many know, has spoken it with Liverpool's hierarchy. The response from both was unequivocal. Chiesa is needed at the club because recent deals have reduced the number of wingers in the squad. I've got a number of things to question on this. Number one, unused sub on Sunday. I'll even start working backwards. Number two, didn't go on the 29-man, just repeat that, 29-man tour of the Far East. Now, there was the bit of, he's got a minor injury, but it's funny if that's the case because nothing was mentioned and he was able to come on, number 3, to cover Hugo Ekitike against Athletic Bilbao, Club Athletic, whatever however you want to pronounce them. Number 4, even when he was fit, he often wasn't in the squad. He wasn't used last season. Which ultimately brings me to point number 5. Arne Slot, this might be mentioned there in this article, clearly does not fancy Federico Chiesa. The tune is a banger. I get it. Don't want to lose that and Luis Diaz's number in the same season. However, I think you've just got to be blunt with this a bit at times. If Chiesa, who it's been made clear through various parties, wants to go back to Italy. We've heard Gennaro Gattuso, the Italy manager, speak about he needs to be playing regularly, in World Cup year if he wants to be in that squad. We know he wants to go there. Something's probably gone wrong a bit if Federico Chiesa, in Liverpool's eyes, is still at Liverpool at the start or the end of the window, I should say. I'm not putting any stock in this one. What I am putting a bit of stock in is we talked about Giovanni Leoni, didn't we, there? And let me just bring that bit from David Ornstein back that Liverpool are interested, trying to persuade the defender. I mean, it sounds pretty strong there. It got even stronger from Fabrizio Romano last night. And this was on the DAZN football sort of podcasting channel, whatever you want to call it, who said Liverpool are really considering internally to sign Giovanni Leoni. My prediction, Liverpool sign Giovanni Leoni. Nothing really ambiguous or nothing you can, dispute in that at all. That is his prediction. That coincides with last night. This coincides with this morning. David Ornstein making it Liverpool are trying, but the difficulty in getting him out of Italy, although the Italian teams cannot meet the price tag. So that goes into the hopper as well. And also, for his own channel last night, Fabrizio Romano, and this is important to mention, though he said Liverpool really like the player, it's this bit as well, this last little few lines. I don't necessarily think these two deals are something that is killing the other one. Liverpool are working on both. Guehi and Leoni are not necessarily alternatives. That's the sort of music to my ears I like to hear. Because again, Guehi and Leoni, brilliant. The present, it's like that Christmas Carol movie, isn't it? The Muppet one. Present, past, like everything's covered. Just Guehi, your present, you win now with your Ali, VVD, Salah and their ages, etc. Gives a real strong option. Just Leoni, there is that question mark, as I said, for me, alongside that. If it's both, put your hands together, get excited, because that is the centre-back area sorted. In fact, as if you have even mentioned, Leoni has on occasions played right back. We know Guehi has on occasions played a few different positions as well, even though he is an established senior centre-back, of course. Those two together, get excited, people. Tons coming up today. I should mention at the same time as well. I know I've got positional play. We'll be looking back on certain things, especially that concern over the left-hand side from the Community Shield and the lineups ahead of Bombas. That'll be about 12:30. I'll be running that for you. Trev has got Jan Molby, of course, in these situations. You want to ask, what would Jan Molby do? And at about 4-ish, we will find out today. And then after we've done a bit of digging, asked around through analysts, messages, WhatsApp, all back and forth, me and Trev will be running the transfer show at 6:30 this evening. Game coming up on Friday. Double Ornstein Bombas. Are we just starting to cook this week? Because this has been dragging on a lot, hasn't it? We will have to see. But Tuesday, the 12th of August, that was a news round.